What's up, gang? This your boy, Mr. I-240. I'm back with another episode today. Whew, y'all. I ain't gonna front, dog. Like I told you in the last episode, the journey has been tough, but the grind do not stop. I gotta keep on hitting you with the heat. Whether it's the good bangers, the sad bangers, it's always another day to improve on my bangers. Not only just on my bangers, but of course, most important, relationship with the Lord, and most importantly, my life. Because I want my life right, and I want my life right with Christ. And I want my life back right with my main girl, Sugar Ray. Shirley. Shirley. And she got me Herbert. So, yeah, yeah. When we blow up, y'all understand, you feel me? But, with that being said, let me go back. Most importantly, I gotta give main thanks and props to my main man, Lord Jesus Christ, Yahweh, whatever y'all want to call him. Because if it weren't for him, would be no me, would be no Paige, would be no y'all. You know what I'm saying? So, you know what I mean? So, you know what I'm saying? I'm coming with another bang with the heats. We're almost at 800 subscribers, which would be a fun episode, would be of Sting and Ric Flair, student versus teacher. You know what I'm saying? And I told you I changed my lineup. So, I got the Coco word B word, it's just the Kurt Hennig out right now, you know, right in front of me, the information I have. And I want to give y'all that flavor, give y'all that sound, you know what I'm saying? So with that being said, let's get into it. Let's talk about it. My main man, Curt Hennig. I think his daddy was a wrestler too, Joe Hennig, and his son was a former Intercontinental champion and tag team champion. I forgot his real name. Y'all let me know. Curtis Axel. They tried to give him that big break with Triple H. You know what I'm saying? With Triple H was acting all concussed and stuff, and he was arguing with Vince and Stephanie and stuff like that when they call each other by their name. But Mr. Perfect is one of the greatest wrestlers of all time. You know what I'm saying? One of the greatest technical wrestlers, technical sound wrestlers in the world. He the guy that allegedly himself said he would Brock Lesnar ass on a plane ride to hell. That's what he said. And he's a former Intercontinental champion. He competed against the guy like Ultimate Warrior, Randy Savage, Hulk Hogan. When he smashed the belt with Hogan, and I said it before in previous episode, he used to wrestle circles around Hulk Hogan. I ain't saying Hulk Hogan could wrestle, but he couldn't mess with Mr. Perfect when it comes to the ring work. You know what I'm saying? But he had the great song. I can't do the song. The vignettes where he playing basketball, football, bowling. Y'all already know. I think he had the job with Wade Boggs too back in the day. You hear me doing this stuff. But with that thing being said, let's get straight into it. Alright. Here we go. We got his professional wrestling career. I don't do life stories because you never know what's true and what ain't true. We're going to do his professional wrestling career. Known as Cool Curt Hennig, he began his career in January 30th, 1980 in the American Wrestling Association, the promotion which had made his father, Larry the Axel, a star. Then of course we're going straight into it. The World Wrestling Federation. 1981, 1983, so I guess this is the first run. Let's see. They're giving us a little light work information to lead to the build. So, Curt Hennig started his WWF career. His first victory was against Johnny Rodz. He established himself as a promising young performer against the likes of the Playboy, Buddy Rose, Greg Valentine, Killer Khan. He was eventually paired up in tag team matches with another young upstart, Eddie Gilbert, himself a son of the wrestling legend Tommy Gilbert. Then of course we got the Pacific Northwest Wrestling era. 1982 to 1988. So I guess he lived through the year after that. Got better, sharpened his tools up, and changed his game up. Let's get cracking. In 1982, Hennig teamed up with his father Larry. It's a lot of father and son parents in sports. King Griffey Jr., his dad. Of course, the latest, LeBron James, is his son. Gotta think about that. Then of course you got Dustin Rhodes, Cody Rhodes, Dusty Rhodes. Yeah, but Dusty Rhodes and Dustin Rhodes teamed up together in WWE, and I think they teamed together in WCW. Y'all let me know in the comments. But back to the story. With his father Larry, and they won the NWA Pacific Northwest Tag Team Championship, defeating Rip Obley and my main man, Doink the Clown, of course, Matt Bowen, on April 27th. He later won the tag titles with Buddy Rose, Scott McGee in 1983. He also won the Northwest Pacific Heavyweight Championship in 1983 after defeating Sheik Abdul Ali Hassan. Then he lost to, of course, another great technical wrestler, Half-Line, before he got in the wheelchair and went crazy. And I knew to do an episode on him, and I might promote that. Well, maybe today. But, you know what I mean? My main man, Dynamite Kid. Yeah, he had a son named Tommy Bennington. I think because his real name, Tommy Bennington. He chose AEW over WWE. Here we go. 3. Dynamite Kid 3. Well, 3 months later, he lost to Dynamite Kid 3 months later. From 1984 to 1988, he made occasional appearances for the company. During this time, he worked for New Japan Wrestling in various territories, such as NWA St. Louis, Central State Wrestling, Continental Wrestling Association. Then, of course, we got the return to AWA. 1983, sorry, it was a text message, y'all. 1980, they trying to mess up my grind, trying to steal my shine. The devil too, because I know the history of we don't get to how y'all know how to do. But Heenan returned to AWA Association in 1983. He eventually become one of the top promotion, top superstars in his own right, winning the AWA World Tag Team Championship with another great wrestler, entertaining guy himself, Scott Hall, by defeating Gorgeous Jimmy Garvin and Mr. Electricity Steven Rico on January 18, 1986 in Albuquerque, New Mexico. But later he resumed his career in AWA, culminating in defeating the legendary Nick Bockwinkel for the AWA World Heavyweight Championship, a Super Clash, on May 2nd in 1987. With the help of Larry Zbyszko and turning villain into doing so, Heenan, along his father Larry the Axe, would engage in a long feud with Greg Gagne and his father Vernon Gagne. He began being associated with Medusa, which we all know she is, the AWA World's Women's Champion, since December 27, 1987. Heenan and Medusa joined the Diamond Exchange, a stable led by a late bloomer himself, Diamond Dallas Page, that also included Bad Company, which is Mark Merrow, and Colonel De Beers. I don't know what it is, but I know who Bad Company is. No, Bad Company is Scott Hall. I said Mark Merrow, I'm sorry. I think Bad Company is Scott Hall. Y'all let me know in the comments. When I research, I know I probably get it wrong somewhere, but we'll get it correct. I don't know why I said Mark Merrow, but yeah. Alright. Heenan would hold the AWA World Heavyweight title for about 53 weeks before losing it to Jerry Lawler on May 9, 1988. Like many AWA stars, including Hulk Hogan, Rick Martel, the Rockers, Heenan left the AWA for the WWF with the promise of more money and boarded exposure. Let's get it cracking. Then, of course, the WWF 1988-1990. Heenan returned to the WWF in the mid 1988, but Heenan made his televised in-ring return on September 11th of All-American Wrestling, defeating enhancement talent Ron Rutherford, whatever your name is. I'm sorry, I don't like the butch names. But on October 1st, a superstar, Vignettes began airing of WWF television, during which he was repackaged with a new character of an arrogant, barbaric villain who claimed to be able to accomplish difficult tasks perfection, thus earning the nickname of Mr. Perfect, who originally Terry Taylor was offered the gimmick but rejected it. Boy, Terry Taylor, I don't know what you would think, but I don't think it would have worked with Terry Taylor. Terry Taylor was a good wrestler, so I think the Red Rooster was cool. Nah, he deserved better than the Red Rooster. I don't like nobody named Rooster. But Terry Taylor, was dope. And he trained some of the current superstars to this day in NXT. He loved what he do. But It was originally offered to Terry Taylor, but he rejected it, and Hennig took the gimmick. He presented himself as being superior athletic or anything else he did. These clips show him hitting a half-court, three-point, and no-look basketball shots, bowling of a score of 800, and running the table in billiards, throwing then and catching his own Hail Mary pass, which we all know. But singing a long golf putt, hitting home runs, and making bullseyes and darts. Stars of various major league sports, including Wade Boggs, Steve Jordan, Felton Spencer, and Mike Modano of NHL. Well, okay, Wade Boggs played baseball, Steve Jordan NFL, Felton Spencer NBA player, and Mike Modano was a hockey player. Co-starred with Hennig in these vignettes. Hennig performed for the first time in Mr. Perfect on October 4th of Primetime Wrestling, where he defeated Jim Brunzell. His first major pay-per-view match at Survivor Series was in a 5-on-5 elimination tag team match as a member of the co-captain Andre Giant team, along with Rick Rude, Dino Bravo, Harley Race, against co-captain Jim Duggan, Jake the Snake, Ken Patera, Tino Santana, Scott Casey. Perfect survived the match with Bravo. The following year, he appeared on SummerSlam, defeating the man that rejected the gimmick, the Red Rooster, in a squash match. But he went undefeated on television over a year, beating mid-card wrestlers B. Brian Blair, Ronnie Garvin, Coco Beware, the Blue Blazer, the Red Rooster, Jimmy Snuka, Tino Santana, and Bret Hart throughout 1989 before Bret got that shine. So, on October 7th, on the episode of Superstar, Perfect began appearing with the Genius, Randy Savage brother, Lonnie Profo, an arrogant, poetic, reciting scholar on the Barbershop Love Show, and began a rivalry with Hulk Hogan. They said Hulk Hogan didn't want to put my boy over and get that shine over the WWF Championship. Their rivalry heated up when Genius defeated Hogan by a countout, thanks to Mr. Perfect assistance on November 25th, Saturday Night Main Event. And also, the duo stole Hogan title belt and destroyed it backstage. Perfect and Hogan wrestled on live events where he lost to Hogan, but they did not compete on television until January 15, 1990, when Hennig received his first opportunity at the WWF Championship against Hogan at Madison Square Garden. This was his first televised match against Hogan, which he won by disqualification, but not the title. But at the Royal Rumble, Perfect attacked Genius opponent Brutus Beefcake after the match, which began a feud between the two. Later in the same night, Perfect participated in the Royal Rumble match as the number 30 entry. He eliminated Rick Rude before making it to the final two, where he was eliminated by his Hulk Hogan. But Perfect streak ended when he suffered his first loss on regional television against the Intercontinental Champion Ultimate Warrior on March 19th at Madison Square Garden. His first loss in singles competition on national television. But his first loss in singles competition on national television was against Brutus Beefcake at WrestleMania. But Hogan settled the score with Perfect with a match between the pair on April 28th, Saturday Night Main Event, in which Hogan pinned Perfect for the first time on television. Following the loss to Hogan, Perfect quietly ended his association with the Genius. Then of course, this my boy got his big break, his big shine. In May 1990, Perfect participated in a tournament for the Intercontinental Heavyweight Championship. After the previous champion Ultimate Warrior vacated the title upon winning the WWF Championship at WrestleMania 6, Mr. Perfect was booked to win this tournament for the vacant title by defeating Jimmy Fly Snuka in the quarterfinals on May 5th episode of Superstars, and two-time Intercontinental Champion Tino Santana in the finals on May 19th on the episode of Superstars. After the title win, Perfect enlisted Bobby Heenan as his perfect manager. It made sense for the title defense against Tino Santana on July 28th at Saturday Night Main Event. Heenan was scheduled to defend his title against Brutus Beefcake at SummerSlam. Stemming from the loss to Beefcake at WrestleMania, but Beefcake suffered an injury and Texas Tornado substituted for Beefcake and challenged Heenan for a title match at SummerSlam. Let me share everything back. Yeah, he substituted for Beefcake and challenged Heenan for a title match for SummerSlam on August 11th of Superstar, on the episode of Superstars, which Perfect accepted the following week. Superstars. Perfect dropped the championship to Texas Tornado at SummerSlam. Heenan was chosen to lead. He was chosen to lead. Kurt Heenan, Mr. Perfect dropped the championship to Texas Tornado at SummerSlam. Heenan was chosen to lead Demolition as the Perfect Team against the Warriors, Texas Tornado, and the Legion of Doom in a 4-on-4 elimination tag match at Survivor Series pay-per-view match, where Heenan team lost. He unsuccessfully challenged Texas Tornado in a rematch for the Intercontinental Championship on November 24th, Madison Square Garden Network special, before regaining the title by defeating Texas Tornado on the December episode of Superstars with the help of Ted DiBiase. Perfect defended the title against Texas Tornado in a rematch on February 2nd, 1991, on the episode of Superstar where he retained the title by losing via countout. But Perfect made his next title defense against the Big Boss Man at WrestleMania 7, where he retained the title by losing via disqualification after the challenger was attacked by Haku and the Barbarian. The following month, Perfect won a Battle Royal on Saturday Night Main Event, last by eliminating Greg Valentine, which led to a match between two Perfect titles on May 14th episode, where Perfect retained his title by disqualification. Who was it about? I don't know. But Perfect retained his title by via disqualification. I guess him and Greg Valentine had a match, so I'm gonna make sure I'm ready. Cool. But here we go. On June 15th episode of Superstar, Bobby Heenan retired as a manager and introduced Coach as Heenan new manager. Kurt Heenan began a rivalry, but Mr. Perfect began a rivalry with British Bulldog, but suffered a back injury in late June, which led to the rivalry being wrapped up. Bret Hart was announced as his next challenger on the July 13th episode of Superstars. In the meantime, Heenan was held out of house shows and usually replaced by Typhoon on television. He wrestled a few premier opponents, but to avoid stressing his back with the Perfect Plex, adopted the gimmick of throwing his opponents out of the ring and just defeating them by count. But in the last episode, like I said, Perfect lost his title to Bret Hart at SummerSlam and a broken tailbone, and Discus forced him to retire from the ring. I ain't know that. Damn. Then of course you got various storylines and departure. Heenan spent the following year recovering from his injury. He returned to television on November 23rd episode, where he became Ric Flair executive consultant. The following week of Superstars, Mr. Perfect became a color commentator of the show for that next full year, acting as a suitable villainous foil to Vince McMahon play-by-play. During this period, Perfect assisted Flair by winning matches and managed him to win 2 World Heavyweight Championships reigns in 1992. By the fall of 1992, Perfect and Flair was in the midst of a rivalry with Randy Savage, building towards a tag match at Survivor Series, where Flair and Razor Ramon would face Savage and Ultimate Warrior. But however, Warrior was released from WWE prior to the event. So on November 6th episode of Primetime Wrestling, Savage asked Mr. Perfect to be his partner after initially laughing off the episode. So this when Randy Savage knew that Mr. Perfect still had that greatness. He could still be his own man. But he was just in Ric Flair's background where Ric Flair was getting all his shine. So Ric Flair was just using him for him to stay ahead and be world champion. But Randy Savage wanted him to step up and be his own man. So Savage asked Mr. Perfect to be his partner. After initially laughing it off, Savage offered. Perfect was swayed by Savage cajoling and Bobby Heenan degrading comments because Ric Flair now was being disrespectful towards Mr. Perfect, like he was just a jockey or a lackey or a jester. So, and commanding Perfect to follow orders, which would lead to Perfect turning into a fan favorite for the first time by dumping water. This after Bobby Heenan had slapped him too. Dumping water on Bobby Heenan, accepting Savage offer to return to the ring and become his partner in Survivor Series. Much to the delight of the primetime wrestling cast, Hillbilly Jim, Jim Duggan, Vince McMahon. Heenan made his return to Survivor Series where Savage and Mr. Perfect won. But Mr. Perfect began a high-profile rivalry with Ric Flair. He made his return to singles competition on the episode of Superstar where he defeated the Berserker. Kurt Hennig participated in the 1993 Royal Rumble to determine the #1 contender for the WWF Championship. He was eliminated by Flair, Skinner. He was eliminated by Flair, Skinner, and Jerry Lawler. No, he eliminated Ric Flair, Skinner, and Jerry Lawler until he was eliminated by Ted DiBiase, Koko B. Ware. So, then of course, this one Vince McMahon told Ric Flair did, man. Vince McMahon was focused on the next generation. So Ric Flair was just gonna be a mid card. So Vince McMahon had so much respect for Ric Flair, he let Flair go. And that year in 1993, Ric Flair became world champion again by defeating Vader. Cause he didn't want to do Ric Flair like that. So on the next day of Monday Night Raw, that Ric Flair defeated, Kurt Hennig defeated Ric Flair, where they had a loser will be forced to leave WWF. As the Flair left WWF, he then went on to the feud against the debut the Narcissist, who berated Perfect during his promos. Luger won their match at WrestleMania. Though both of Perfect's feet were clearly between the ropes, afterwards, Perfect chased Lex Luger backstage where he was later jumped behind Luger's ally, Shawn Michaels. As a result, Perfect began a rivalry with Shawn Michaels, another young star. During this time, Mr. Perfect qualified for the first ever King of the Ring by defeating Dr. Clank. I think they had 2 matches. There was a draw, and then Mr. Perfect won the third one. But at King of the Ring, Mr. Perfect defeated Mr. Hughes in the quarterfinals, but lost to eventually winner Bret Hart in the semifinals. Perfect competed against Shawn Michaels for the Intercontinental Championship at SummerSlam. Mr. Perfect lost by countout due to interference from Shawn Michaels' bodyguard, Diesel. Kurt Hennig later televised match in WWF was November 7th, where he defeated, on the Video 7 Wrestling Challenge, where he defeated Mike Sharp. He was set to participate as a member of Razor Ramon's team in Survivor Series, but was replaced by Randy Savage. Ramon took the microphone before the match saying Perfect was such a perfect partner. He tagged out before the match had even begun. Oh crap. Perfect made a surprise appearance return at the WWF at WrestleMania 10 on March 20th, where he was a special guest referee for the WWF Championship match between Lex Luger and Yokozuna. Perfect disqualified Luger after Luger had mishandled Mr. Perfect, who was tending to Yokozuna, stricken managers Jim Cornette and Mr. Fuji instead of counting the pinfall and turn heel again. Perfect was set to start another rival with Luger, which he explained that he screwed Luger because of Luger's illegal win over Perfect previous year. I knew they were going to leave out this storyline. I knew it. Had a good feeling. However, plans were scrapped after Kurt Hennig back problems flared up again. He left WWF in the spring of 1994. Hennig took a year off to recover from a back wrench until he returned to the company as a color commentator in Survivor Series in 1995. The following weekend, Jerry Lawler announced that Perfect as his replacement on Superstars, his second stint on the commentator, the show with Vince McMahon. This time with Jim Ross added as an analyst later in 1996. McMahon left and Ross switched to play-by-play role. Perfect also did color commentary at the Royal Rumble, SummerSlam, and the In Your House 10 Mind Games pay-per-view. Perfect also served as a special guest referee for the WWF Championship match between Shawn Michaels, British Bulldog, at June King of the Ring pay-per-view. This one, Diana Smith was saying Shawn Michaels trying to flirt with it and holler at him. Shawn Michaels probably was. I mean, he did smash Chris Candido, right? Sonny, right? Anyway, in mid-1996, Hennig was placed in an angle with Hunter Hearst Helmsley, where he would come out to the ringside doing Helmsley matches and steal his female escort, which would often cause a distraction for Helmsley and affect his performance in matches. During the rivalry, Perfect helped Mark Merrow in winning the Intercontinental Championship from Farouk and assisted him retaining the title against Goldust at In Your House 11, Buried Alive. The following night, Perfect was initially going to make his wrestling comeback on Helmsley, but was attacked by Helmsley backstage just moments before the match. It appeared Helmsley left Perfect injured and unable to compete. This all turned out to be a ruse of the purpose of suckering Merrow into defending his title against Helmsley, which helped Perfect. With the help of Perfect, Helmsley won the title from Mark Merrow. Mr. Perfect began to serve as a mentor to Triple H and accompanied Triple H to the ring. Perfect left WWF once again shortly before Survivor Series, making his last televised appearance on the episode of Raw. Then of course, we got the WCW era. Here we go. The Four Horsemen, New World Order. Kurt Hennig signed to WCW in mid-1997. Since his Mr. Perfect name was trademarked by WWF, he returned to compete under his real name. He debuted in WCW as a fan favorite. June 30 episode of Monday Nitro Doing the Brawl, which erupted after the main event. His first match in the company took place in July, Bash at the Beach, when he became Diamond Dallas Page mystery partner against the NWO Randy Savage and Scott Hall. But he ended up turning on Page, costing them the match as he continued to use the Fisherman Suplex as his finishing move and renaming it the Hennigplex. Ooh. Shortly after his debut, he became a top favorite of both the Four Horsemen and the NWO, as both factions showed interest in recruiting him. He ultimately joined the Four Horsemen, taking the spot of the retiring Arn Anderson. Hennig replied to Anderson's invitation saying it would be a privilege. Anderson pleaded that Hennig takes the spot was the subject of the following weekly priority of the Horsemen by the NWO, which led to War Games at Fall Brawl. Hennig was allegedly jumped backstage by the NWO before the War Game match and came to ringside mid-match with an arm in a sling. The whole thing turned as a setup as Hennig betrayed the Horsemen and joined NWO by handcuffing the other horseman onto the cage, then slamming the cage door on Ric Flair's head. Afterwards claiming Hennig had destroyed the horseman as a further slap to Flair, who claimed to be the wrestler that made Minnesota famous, thus becoming a villain. The following night on Nitro, Curt Hennig became United States World Heavyweight Champion by defeating. Oh, Steve McMichael was U.S. Champion? Oh, wow. I gotta go back and do my research. I never knew Steve McMichael won the title. But by defeating Horseman Steve McMichael. Curt Hennig held the title for the next 3 months, during which he defended his title against Flair in a standard wrestling match at Halloween Havoc, and a no disqualification before dropping the title to DDP at Starrcade. But in the fall of 1997, Hennig was joined by his childhood best friend Rick Rude in NWO. Hennig and Rude were put into a rivalry with Bret Hart and his relative British Bulldog and Jim Neidhart, during which both teams competed against each other in several matches throughout the first half of 1998. Hennig lost to Bret Hart at Uncensored and defeated British Bulldog at Spring Stampede. But he was sidelined due to a knee injury in mid-1998. During this time, NWO broke into 2 different factions, NWO Wolfpack and NWO Hollywood. Both Hennig and Rude joined Kevin Nash fan favorite Wolfpack group. However, the 2 villains did not really fit in with the fan favorite Wolfpack faction, especially when Rude would still get the microphone and tell the fans to shut up. Hennig was scheduled to wrestle Goldberg for the United States Championship at June Great American Bash pay-per-view, but he failed to compete due to injury, so he asked Konnan to replace him. Konnan lost the match. Afterwards, both Hennig and Rude attacked him, removing themselves from the NWO Wolfpack and joined NWO Hollywood. The following month, Goldberg won the heavyweight championship, and Hennig, despite his injury, faced Goldberg for the title in a losing effort at Halloween Bash at the Beach. I'm surprised they put that crazy squash match when he just slapped him. He slapped Goldberg, spear, 1, 2, 3. Man, that was so disrespectful to a great wrestler. Now, if y'all did that because of his injury, then cool. But if my boy was healthy, man, Mr. Perfect deserved better than Nick. I'm sorry. But in the fall of 1988, Hennig began feuding with Horseman Dean Malenko over his betrayal over the 4 Horsemen the previous year, which resulted in a match between the pair at Fall Brawl pay-per-view, which Hennig lost. After the loss, Hennig was taken off television due to recovering knee injury. He returned to WCW at Starrcade event December to aid Eric Bischoff to defeating Ric Flair. Hennig joined forces with Barry Windham to take on Flair and his son David Flair in a tag team match at Sold Out in 1999, which Hennig team lost. In 1999, both NWO factions reunited. Hennig was placed in NWO B Team, a group of consistent mid-card wrestlers of NWO. However, he was kicked out of the group after speaking against the leaders on January 25th of the episode of Nitro. Then, of course, we got the West Texas departure, 1999, 2000. This one, WCW was just pretty much dead at that point. We were just doing stuff, you got guys like Lashley, Hugh Morris getting pushed. Man, who else was getting a push at that time? They had G.I. Bro, Booker T. WCW was just crazy at that point. I mean, they had problems and stuff at times. But by 99, WCW was pretty much dead, dog. But here we go. Hennig formed a tag team with Barry Windham, continued his rivalry with the 4 Horsemen. Hennig and Windham was placed in the tag team tournament for the vacant WCW World Tag Team Championships, which they won by defeating Horsemen Chris Benoit and Dean Malenko at Super Brawl. Hennig and Windham held the tag team title for a month before losing to Benoit and Malenko in a lumberjack match. The following Monday, Uncensored, after Arn Anderson hit Hennig with a tire iron, Hennig competed against Hulk Hogan in a losing effort on the main event of the March 18th episode of Thunder after Horace saved Hogan from a Hennigplex. In May, Hennig formed a new faction called the West Texas Rednecks with Witham, Barry, and Barry Witham brother, Kendall Witham, and Bobby Duncan Jr. The group members presented a southern country musician. They began feuding with, man, that song was hilarious, but their feud was trash. Eric Bischoff and them were desperate for ratings. Hey, they had Master P dudes wrestling in the match. It was crazy. Yep, they had began feuding with rapper Master P and No Limit Soldiers and recorded an infamous country song, Rap is Crap. There they used to perform the song on Nitros and pay-per-view. During this rivalry, Hennig and Duncan lost to Conan and Rey Mysterio of the No Limit Soldiers in a tag match on June 13th at the Great American Bash. Less than a month. The Rednecks lost to the Soldiers once again in an elimination tag match at Bash at the Beach on July 11th. The Rednecks was intended to be villains, but the Southern WCW fans cheered them on. Let's be real, having folks was racist. Look what they just said. Half of them folks was racist. Cause that's how, if you know, you know. I ain't saying Mr. Perfect was racist, but that fan base, they cheered them on. Master P Black, Gold Grill. Y'all know what some of them white folks think about us. But I ain't finna go there. So, resulted in the angle being dropped. The Rednecks made their final pay-per-view appearance at the Road Wild on August 14th, where Hennig, Barry Windham, and Duncan lost to the Revolution in a 6-man tag. After the Rednecks disbanded, Hennig began a storyline which he stated he was following orders from the powers that be, that if he lost any match by pinfall, he must retire. He participated in the tournament to crown a new WCW World Heavyweight Championship, during which he defeated Disco Inferno in the first round but lost to Jeff Jarrett in the second round. He was forced to retire after losing a retirement match against Buff Bagwell at Mayhem. He was reinstated by the powers that be a month later. However, he joined forces with the Creative Control, during which the trio defeated Harlem Heat and Midnight. They was just doing stuff at this point. Look at that trash bucket, man. Come on, dog. Damn. Whew. Man, for wrestling women, bro, it was just that was all over the place, dog. I'm sorry. Crazy matchups together, storylines. That's just weird. Just weird at this point. He remained on WCW television, continuing to make sporadic appearances with the company, where he ended up feud with Shawn Stasiak. Look at that, wrestling Shawn Stasiak. In the spring of 2000, after Stasiak referred himself as the Perfect One, which was a ripoff of Curt Hennig's character, he even used his entry music to compose the sound like Mr. Perfect theme song. Hennig lost to Stasiak at Slamboree. His last televised match was against Chris Harris on May. Just random matches. And then, of course, Hennig left after his WCW contract. Then, of course, he made random appearances and stuff like that after his WCW contract across different companies. And then he had a second run in WWE that didn't last long. But we can read that part. During the build-up for January Royal Rumble, it was announced Hennig would be returning as one of the 30 combatants in the match. Hennig was billed again as Mr. Perfect, although his real name was widely acknowledged. He entered at number 25 and was one of the final 3 competitors before being eliminated by eventual winner Triple H. Perfect made a strong showing at the Rumble, hitting a perfect plex on Carter. That would have been a great one-on-one match and a great rivalry. Holding his own with the WWF best at the time. His performance, along with the positive reaction the Atlanta crowd earned, the reaction of the Atlanta crowd earned Hennig a full-time contract with WWF. Perfect appeared on the next night of Raw in a match with Val Venis. Then he had matches with WWF up-and-coming superstars like Brock Lesnar, Randy Orton, Batista, as well as having a short feud with Stone Cold Steve Austin and Rob Van Dam, before forming a team with Shawn Stasiak at house shows. Throughout March and early April as well, on tag team television with Big Boss Man. Curt Hennig Mr. Perfect was drafted to Raw during the first ever draft. Perfect, now wrestling on Raw brand, faced the Big Show in a losing effort on April 8th in 2002. And April 21st. The man was on Sunday Night Heat. Come on, man. Damn, Vince. Sunday Night Heat. This man still cold. Sunday Night Heat. Damn. He beat Steven Richards on the May 2nd tape, April 29th, on the edition of Sunday Night Heat. Hold up. Yeah. Okay. Perfect faced Tommy Dreamer and won via pinfall. His final television match took place in May 12, 2002, where he defeated Matt Hardy. Where he was defeated by Matt Hardy. He also participated in a dog match in Insurrection on May 4, 2002, defeating Goldust. Perfect was released from WWE by May 8th in 2002 due to physical confrontation with Brock Lesnar. A return flight from the pay-per-view. Among other incidents, drunkenness, the tussle took place, the infamous, the prank that started, slapping shaving cream on Brock Lesnar's head. That's when Brock Lesnar took life too seriously. And he almost opened the emergency exit door. That's when Goldust was crying, going crazy. Ric Flair did what he did, and shit. There was a lot going on, you feel me? Then, of course, he had a brief run in TNA. This is when he did the infamous shoot about the Brock Lesnar situation. You know what I'm saying? And, of course, close to a year later, on February 20th, 2003, Henry was found dead in a hotel room in Brandon, Florida, at the age of 44, 6 weeks away from his 45th birthday. Examiners declared that it was a cocaine to be the cause of his death, but it was stated that his father, that he was on steroids and painkillers that contributed to his death. Man. Yo, I be saying, man, you got that fame and fortune, man, you gonna be happy, man. It's just like it backfire on the end, you know what I'm saying? You used to being so famous and high up here, and then it's just like when it's over, and you start getting older, you try to do anything to stay at the top. You know what I'm saying? To stay in that spotlight, and he probably trying to come back and do what he need to do and get his body right, and you never know what that man was going through, you know what I'm saying? Only two people that know what that man was going through was the devil and the Lord. You know what I'm saying? And sometimes when it's time to lose that spotlight, man, for real. You know what I'm saying? It just, like, look at this shit. I love this world, but it's gonna be a moment we're gonna let this world go. You know, ain't gonna be no more yeet. Ain't gonna be no more rise for Judgment Day. Like, it is a Judgment Day for Florida, shoot, California, states like that. God ain't playing, man. So sometimes you gotta get on the right side of life, you know what I'm saying? You never know, you know what I'm saying? I hate that my boy went out like this. And sometimes you gotta make the right decision. If, being famous and making money and stuff like that, gonna do all that, I don't even want it, you know what I'm saying? I wanna be financially accountable, but I don't wanna go through all that, working out, drugs. Just stay on top or stay relevant, you know what I'm saying? So my prayers go out to him. Like I said, he had a talented son who made his own way, won the Intercontinental Championships, managed by Paul Heyman. He was a talented wrestler, seemed like he was a great person. And plus, he was never the same when his homeboy died, Rick Rude. You know what I'm saying? So he went through a tough batch with that, because it was his best friend, childhood friend, and stuff like that. But with that being said, man, I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. Y'all stay prayed up. Because time's going to get hard. And we're going to need Jesus at the end of the day. And I ain't talking about the one in the light. And I ain't talking about the fake one that's going to give you the fake contract and sign your life over for you, sell your soul. And with that being said, I love y'all.